I come in?
Yes, please come in. All right, Raj Nikhra.
Yes, sir.
So Raj Nikhra, what should I call you?
You can call me Raj.
All right. So Raj, how has been the journey so far?
That was quite well. I enjoyed the view from Indore to Gandhinagar, and there was a different thing that I saw, like the space that has been the station of Gandhinagar was very beautiful, and the people that are there are also different from Indore.
How are they different from Indore?
Like they have a different culture. They speak Gujarati, and their food are quite spicy. I ate last evening with my friends.
Food was spicy in Gandhinagar.
Yes,
What did you eat?
we ate different things like pani puri, as well as the kebab roll, and another thing like the egg roll also we eat yesterday.
Okay, so nothing from Gujarat cuisine.
Actually, the texture of Gujarat was there. That was not in the food of Indore.
So this is your third attempt.
Yes, this is my third attempt.
What were the shortcomings due to which you were not recommended before?
If I talk about the shortcomings, so I think first thing was my communication skills. Those were not well, so I got screened out, and I improved upon them, and then I got screened in. And after that, what happened is I was not having a good physical stamina, and my IU was not went so well, and I got conference out. So I improved upon both of them.
How did you improve on that?
Firstly, talking about my communication skills. So, to improve my communication skills, I joined two organizations. First is Toastmasters, and second is Had Anhad organization.
Sorry?
And Had Anhad organization.
Okay, Had Anhad.
Had Anhad.
What does that mean?
Actually, it is, I don't know the meaning exactly, but it is somewhere related to Sanskrit. And that organization has done the live dialoguing program at the time of COVID. And speaking morely about how I improved my communication skills, individually I have done some exercises like word stealing with my friends, as well as I also
What is word stealing?
word stealing is an exercise in which the person who is in front of you speak a word and say and convey information that is factful and meaningful. And from that line only, you pick a word, you shout it, and then you start saying your lines. Like they could be facts, they could be a piece of information, and the game goes on. We can try it with our one friend, two friend, and many more friends.
Okay.
And talking more about how I improved on my communication skills, I also joined a website which is free for talk, and on that website only we talk with the foreigners of different countries. So that's how I improved upon.
So I believe you made a lot of friends through this website.
Yes, I made a lot of friends, but not.
Would you like to mention anybody of those?
Yes, one of my friend is Alexei. She's from France. Yes, and we meet on Free for Talk, and then she also has interest in playing chess. So she also joined me on chess.com, and we play chess together, and we share many ideas. So we have a good bonding, and she's one of a good friend of mine.
Okay, so how often do you talk to Alexa?
I think it is not quite often, but whenever she puts a status or I post a status, so we had a conversation, a short conversation on that context only.
Okay, so what is she doing right now in education?
In education, she is doing the, I don't know exactly, but she is doing the bachelor's in agricultural research, something like that. I don't know the exact information, but she told me nearly 2 years ago.
That's good. Okay, Raj, what is the meaning of your surname, Nikhra? Am I pronouncing it correct?
Yes, you are pronouncing it correctly.
Okay.
Actually, this surname means pure. Nikhra means pure in our regional language, and this.
What is your regional language?
My regional language is Bundelkhandi.
Oh. Continue.
And that surname actually means pure, which is totally pure, and it originated from the worshippers of Kali Devi. Yes, in Gahoy Bania, there is a community, proper community of Nikhras, who were the devotee of Kali Devi, and they were surnamed like Nikhra. And the worshippers of Devi Bhavani, they were named Khard. The Khard surname originated from there, and there are different surnames for different.
Who was Devi Bhavani?
Devi Bhavani is one of the incarnation of Gauri Mata,
Who is Gauri Mata?
the wife of Lord Shiva.
Alright, Raj, so you hail from Niwadi.
Yes.
So tell me, what all places will you take me to whenever I visit to Niwadi?
So whenever you visit Niwadi, first of all, I will be there to take you my home, and I will ask my mother to prepare a good food for you.
Okay. Well, I've been having home food since the time I've been in other cities or wherever I'm in my hometown. So I want different cuisines of your city.
Yes. So in Niwadi, I can take you many places. There are a lot of places, like there is a world famous temple which is under the UNESCO World Heritage Site in Orchha. There is
Okay.
the temple of Ram Raja Mandir. God Ram is treated as the king of Orchha, and the police used to give them salami and salutation every morning. And other than that, I will take you to the fort of Orchha, which is a very good destination, tourist place it is, and it is the second capital of Bundeli rulers. The first one
Okay, enough with the tourist places. I want something to eat.
wants something to eat, so I will take you to a place known as Barua Sagar. There we will eat the aloo bada of Panditji, as well as the samosa of Damdar. They are quite famous in Niwadi. And after that, if you want to eat, we will go to a place. The place, I don't know the name exactly, but the famous gajak of Morena comes there, and it is a very busy place because there no one in our area you can find the gajak of Morena.
So you don't know the name of that place?
Actually, it is near Barua Sagar or a place, so we don't often go there. So I don't remember the name.
Okay, no issue. So what's so different about Damdar samosa compared to Indore and Niwadi?
First thing that you will find in Indore, there's a sweety taste in samosa that you will never find in Niwadi. There's this spicy taste you will always observe, and the speciality of Damdar samosa is there are different kind of chutneys that you will get with samosa, like tomato ki chutney, amrood ki chutney, hari mirch ki chutney, lal mirch ki chutney, and the list goes on. There are 6 to 7 chutneys that are available there.
Alright, Raj, so we have had a lot of food. We have visited the temples as well as the fort. Now I think I should buy something for my family from Niwadi. So I want the most expensive and famous thing which I can buy in Niwadi.
Okay, so firstly I will take you to the handcraft loom place that is situated in Orchha.
Okay.
And there the people who belongs to tribal regions and who stay there, they used to handcraft those things like dolchi, as well as the small toys, miniature toys that are made out of wood, and the crafting has been done over them, so they look damn beautiful. If you want to take them, you can always decorate them in your room.
Anything else?
Talking more about things, so I will take you to the market where Mela is organized in Podar.
Well, okay. So this particular wooden toys, we are buying wooden toys, and I find it pretty expensive. Okay, I believe they are way out of my budget, so I want you to negotiate the price. So how will you bargain the price for me?
Actually, whenever a tourist or a person that is not known to the culture, if he buy, so definitely they will tell you a price that is not a average price, because they will find you in a different language of a different culture. But when I go there and I try to negotiate with them, they will definitely go below their high price range, because I will tell them that I have buy them away before. I buy them often. So that thing will surely help in the negotiation.
Okay, so for your negotiation, that often works when you are in zone with that particular place. Like you are from Newari, so it works. Let's say you are in Gandhinagar, you are buying something here, and you have to negotiate the price of that particular wood craft.
I will say that I had taken that particular thing with my friend 2 weeks ago, and that thing will not click in the mind of shopkeeper actually, because he's selling those things to many customers. But if I will tell him, then definitely either he will say that I am wrong, or he will say that the price has substantially increased. In that thing, I will try to negotiate furthermore, and the price of that particular product. If it is if it
How
is
will you
negotiable,
negotiate? Means what all statements will you use? What's your strategy regarding that?
actually I will say my wordings like I had taken it from your shop particularly, and that too 2 weeks ago with my friend, and you had given it in 250. Maybe he said that the price is around 300. I will say I take it 250. So if he will say that I am wrong, either he will say that the price has increased. If he say those things, then I will definitely stuck on my price range. And if it is negotiable, he will surely come down. And if it is not, then he will stay on his price.
Okay. Alright, Raj, so you have been living in Indore for how much?
Nearly 4 years, sir.
4 years. So compare your time in Indore with your time in Newari.
Okay. So if I talk about Newari, there is a scenic beauty because the Betwa river flows in the north of Newari, as well as there are a lot of natural beauty near the three ponds that are available there, like Bada Tala, Chota Tala, and Ardar Ka Tala. Talking more about Indore.
What is Ardar Ka Tala?
Ardar Ka Tala. Ardar is a famous place where the famous Saint Moni Maharaj used to live. He went into the Samadhi and he didn't speak nearly for 20 years of his life. So this is a famous religious place, and a pond is there which is known as Arjar Ka Tala.
Arjar.
Arjar Ka Tala.
So what does Arjar mean?
Arjar is a village. Pond that is situated there. Talking more about Indore, so there are many buildings that are there. The people that live here in Indore are dynamic, and they are more prone to earn the money, and they are living a lifestyle that will contribute them more earnings as compared to Newari. Talking more about Newari, other than scenic beauty, it has nowadays become a educational hub for the people who live there in the villages. Like people get to know a better quality of education. If you will see the recent result of UPSC, 329th rank cadre of IRS has been provided to KP Rajput, who lives in Newari, and in past 5 years, 2 army officers have been selected there, as well as the first topper of MPC also came from Newari itself this year. So it has become an educational hub for the students. You see in North. So there are the people who live there in Bhagarjua for a particular competitive exam coaching. But in Newari, if you will see, you will find short group of people or a short quantity of people who are working towards their goal. And in Indore, there is a rush of people. But both Newari and Indore contributes to a better educational quality. You see. Talking more about Newari, I can say that it is a newly formed district, so it is under development. There are more employment opportunities because Newari is situated on the border of MP and UP, so it acts as a buffer zone. and the people who live in the villages of Uttar Pradesh as well as Madhya Pradesh get to know about Niwadi and used to come there because the KV is getting situated there. Navodaya Vidyalaya is also getting formed, and new collectorate is also developed. Different kind of banks are being started to situated in Niwadi. So the employment opportunities are increasing. The employees are getting into the area and people are getting rent from them. So it is a very developed, very underdeveloped uh, place if you see, and Indore is a highly developed place. The people who live there are much more rich than Niwadi. And talking more about Niwadi, we can see that that is quite religious place. There are many temples like I told you about the Ramraja temple. Other than Ramraja temple, there is a uh, temple in Arjar. I told you.
Alright, so which place do you prefer? Indore or Niwadi?
I will prefer, it depends actually. If I want to prepare for a competitive exam or something that I won't get in Niwadi, then I would prefer Indore.
But for preparations, you can get Niwadi. You just said that it is going to be an educational hub.
Yes,
A lot of toppers have been in UPSC due to means in this year only.
yes. If you want to study for your written as well as you want a self-study zone, you can prefer Niwadi. There's no doubt in that. But there are some preparations like SSB preparation. So there's no environment like you can't find the people who speak English there. So you can't practice with them. But in Indore you can find some great organizations like Inspire Coaching. There's a different culture in Inspire Coaching. The people used to talk in English, as well as Toastmasters. And many of my friends are also.
So you did your SSB preparation from Inspire Coaching.
No, actually I joined Inspire when I was in my college, final year in college. So, but I'm preparing with my friends in context of SSG, and we are doing quite good. We practice a lot, exercises together. We do the GDs as well as we practice lectures, and we used to do the sessions on a daily basis.
Alright, what all competitive exams have you given till now? And what are their results?
I have given many competitive exams, talking particularly starting from the JEE exam. Not actually from JEE, I cracked Navodaya in 5th class. And after 5th class, I again appeared for Navodaya exam and I also cleared it for the 9th class. And then after I also had
Then
a good score.
why didn't you study in Navodaya?
Actually, my parents didn't allow me to go there at that time.
So
because I'm
at
the
that
only
time
son.
Navodaya was in which city?
The Navodaya of Kundeshwar has been provided to me, which is situated in Tikamgarh.
Continue.
Yes. Talking more about my exams. So I had a quite well score in JEE also. It was 71 actually, and the cutoff was 81. So I also have a good score in JEE mains. And talking more about the exam, so I also cracked the NDA 2016 second attempt. And after NDA, I cracked many defense exams like MP Police exams, as well as IUCL exam, as well as SSC GD exam, FCAT exam, as well as CGCAT. I cleared recently.
So you are expecting an SSB of Coast Guard.
Yes.
So you have cleared a lot of exams and you must be having a scope for other domains also in government department. So why do you want to join defense forces?
Sir, actually, I think that defense forces will provide me an active, energetic, and disciplined lifestyle that no other organization can provide
No other organization can provide that.
at a very early age. Yes, the kind of lifestyle that I want, that only defense sector can provide me, as well as it provides a good salary, good status, and good future aspects also.
You can get that in IPS also. No?
Yes, we can get an IPS also, but I think that the kind of environment that we have to deal in IPS is we think that it particularly deal with the civilians that are situated, that comes under the zone of IPS officer. But talking more about defense, the environment is very disciplined. The officers of defense get into the sports, athletics, and they do the adventurous activities that I like also. I prefer
What all
defense.
adventurous activities do you like?
Adventurous activities like river rafting I have seen in Orcha, in Betwa river itself. I have a good
Then
interest
have you
about
done
it.
river rafting?
I had not done yet.
Why?
Actually, I didn't get a chance with my friends, so I didn't done that yet. But whenever I get the chance to go there, I will surely do that. Other than river rafting, the officers of defense are getting into the Olympics, you can see, and they used to play many games together. Like I have seen the defense officers playing volleyball in
Are you
Siachen.
preparing specifically for any sport?
Actually, I had an interest in running. I started that, and I am having a pretty good interest in that.
Okay, when did you start running?
I started running in January 2022.
Okay, this year.
This
only.
year only.
So how much do you run every day?
I nearly run 4 rounds of 400 meters. It contributes to 1600 meters in Malhar Ashram.
Okay, and how much time do you take for that?
I take nearly 4 and 58 seconds, which is nearly 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Last time I took 4 minutes 58 seconds.
Okay. So you take 5 minutes for 1.6 kilometers.
Yes.
So what's your speed in kilometer per hour?
My speed in kilometers per hour is, I have to calculate that.
Take your time. All right, no issue, Raj.
Nearly 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. I can't actually.
15 to 20 kilometers. That's a huge range.
Yes, actually I didn't calculate it, so I told you the range.
Yeah, okay, take your time and calculate and then tell me.
The 17 point something.
17 point something or 19 point something?
1% it can increase or decrease. 1 or 2%
1% of what?
of kilometer per hour.
1% of kilometer per hour.
Yes.
So percentage of a unit.
Yes, percentage of a unit.
Is that what you are saying?
Yes. 1%.
Tell
of
me
1
specifically what could be the speed of yours in kilometer per hour.
Okay, I'm telling you. It contributes to range of 90. Yes.
90. Fair enough. Alright, Raj. So the interview will proceed in such a way that I'll ask you a series of questions. You are supposed to listen to all of them. Then you are supposed to answer them in that particular order. If in between I stop and ask any kind of follow-up questions, you just have to stop, listen to me, and just respond in that manner. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Alright, shall we start?
Yes.
Okay, Raj. So tell me who all are there in your family. What do they do? How you spend time with them? One thing you like about them, one thing you don't like about them. One thing they like about you, one thing they don't like about you. When was the last time you got angry at each specific family member and why? And what event transpired after that? When was the last time you all went to some place for holidays?
Talking about my family, I belong to a nuclear family. My father, Mr. Ramakant Mitra, he's a businessman. My mother's name is Meera Mitra. She's a homemaker, and my sister Nikita Mitra, she's a training officer in Devas ITI College. And talking more about
Raj, what is the meaning of Nikita?
Nikita, I don't know exactly the meaning of Nikita, but I will tell you.
Continue.
So, Nikita Mitra, she's a training officer in ITI College, Devas. And how I spend time with them. So whenever I am at home, I used to spend time with them, watching TV and having a conversation regarding, you know, home and about my relatives and how my studies are going and how the work of my sister is going, what kind of challenges she's facing while living in Devas, and what she's doing in context of her studies, and many different conversation in different domain we used to do in our home. Talking more about how I help them and how they help me. So I used to help my mother whenever she has a fast. Like my mother used to fast every Monday, and in
Raj, did I ask you about how you help them and how they help you?
sorry sir, you asked how what they like in you and what they don't like in you. Sorry for that.
Continue.
So what I like about them, talking about my father, he's a very punctual person, and from past 35 years, he used to go at Khandiyawala Hanumanji temple, and for that he wake up every day at 4:30 a.m. And talking more about him, he's also pursuing his hobby of carpentering. Like he used to make sofas and beds by himself. Uh, thing that I like about my mother is that she's a very kind lady, and she's a member. She's very good at social activities. Like she's a member of she's a member of Gahoy Vaishya Samaj, and she also is a Koshadhyaksh of she was the former Koshadhyaksh of Mahila Mandal. Talking more about the thing that I like in my sister is that she's a hard-working person, and she's very clear about her goals from the very early age.
Okay, how older is your sister than you?
My sister is 3 years older than me.
She completed her graduation from?
SATI College, Vidisha, Samrat Ashok Vishwavidyalaya.
And your father is a businessman. So
Yes.
what particularly is his business?
He used to manage the guest house.
Okay, so you have a guest house.
Yes.
Alright. Continue.
So, talking more about the things that they don't like in me. Talking about my father, he don't like whenever I get up late in the morning. Whenever I'm at home, if I get up at 6:30 or 7, so he will definitely tell me that you have to wake up early. And talking more about my mother, she finds me she's actually over, we can say, overprotective or kind of over possessive, we can say. So she used to get more curious about my health, and whenever I came to Newari from Indore, she became more curious and she became nervous that how your health has been declined and more things about that, and she don't like that. She told me that you have to focus on your health, you are not eating the food in a proper way, and that thing she don't like about me, and she want to change that. Talking more about my sister,
So what specifically does your mother want? Because you seem to be like a very healthy and sports playing child.
yes, but my mother think that after going Indore, my health has substantially declined. I was nearly 75 kg when I was at home, and the mothers are that way only. I decreased to 66 kg nowadays, so she thinks that my health is getting deteriorated. But I told him that I am going on a running, and I am getting myself indulged into the sport activities like running as well as rope skipping. So that's why my weight has got decreased. And I tried to convey with them, but she said that you have to focus more on your health as well as grooming, because your texture of skin has also become dark. So she's over caring, we can say, and she told me that you have to focus more on your diet. Talking more about my sister, so she used to say that I am not having a good interest in context of speed maths. She said that I am not good at speed maths, So she wants me to improve that, and she also wants me to improve the stamina. She don't find me a physically fit person. So she also told me to join either a gym or some sports activities in my life. So
But you are already doing running, right?
I started that in 2020. I am actually improving myself on basis of physical stamina. Before that, the thing that my sister wants to change in me is physical stamina as well as my progress in mathematics, speed math, preferably.
Continue.
Yes. Talking more about, sir, can you please repeat the question? I forgot that.
Who all are there in your family? What do they do? How you spend time with them? One thing you like about them, one thing they like about you, one thing you don't like about them and they don't like about you. How last time you all went to a trip?
One thing my parents like about me is that I'm good at academics. Like I secured second rank in 10th class in my school, and I also got 100 out of 100 in pre-board in 12th class.
In particular subject or overall?
In math, in math actually I got 100 out of 100 in pre-board.
But still your sister thinks that you are not good at mathematics.
Actually, she thinks that I am not good at speed mathematics. It is not about the curricular mathematics, which is thoroughly based upon the theorems as well as things like that.
Okay.
Talking more about my academics, so they like that I secured 6th position when I was in college, and nowadays I am pursuing my B.Ed. So I got first rank in the whole college. So they like my academics as well as my sister think that I I work very hard whenever it comes to perform in an exam or something like that. So she knows that I put effort, and she do like that thing about me. I talk about, yes, these are things that they like in me. And talking more about the trip that we all went together. So we went to our maternal uncle's wedding. Actually the son of my cousin Pankaj Bhaiya's wedding together, and there we enjoyed a lot, and we you know talk with different relatives, what they are doing right now, and many friendly conversation, many numerous jokes were there. We enjoyed good food, and great memories we were created. We took photos together, as well as we also go there before 5 days. We got to visit the fort of Carrera, and the fort of Carrera there are 7 gufas, so it was quite a good experience for us, as well as the scenic beauty that was available there. It was enthralling. We enjoyed a lot there.
Alright Raj, tell me from where did you complete your 10th standard? How much did you score in your 10th standard? Who was your favorite teacher and why? Which was your favorite subject and why? Also tell me about the teacher you didn't like much. Tell me the reason for that. Who all were your friends in 10th standard? What do you look for in a person while making friends?
Okay.
Subsequently, tell me all these things about 12th as well as your graduation.
Okay. So talking about my 10th standard, I completed my 10th from Rani Lakshmibai Public Academy, and I secured 84.5 percentage in my 10th class. And talking about the subject that I like and the teacher that I like in 10th standard, so both are same. I like Devin sir, and he teaches math. And why I like him is because his way of teaching math is very different. He used to teach us on a very creative way. Like he put theorems, and he will also tell us which theorem is important and in which aspect. Like he told us about many theorems like PA into PB is equal to PT square. I can remember those theorems and those formulas till now, and I can't forget them throughout my competitive exam. They also helped me there. So that's why I like Devin sir, as well as I also like the math subject.
Okay, give me a practical anecdote of this.
Practical anecdote. I can give you about that. Like usually what happens in 10th, you just muck up the formulas of a plus b ka whole square and a minus b ka whole square. He just elaborated that thing in a different way. He used to elaborate like a plus b ka whole square. We can get it from 4a plus, we can just write a minus b ka whole square minus 4ab, and we can get a minus b ka whole square by just a plus b ka whole square. And that thing sounds quite interesting at that time, but it is not. It is just common by now, but that thing was very new, and his teaching style is not limited to that particular formula. It was expanded to the whole subject actually, and that's why I also secured a good mark in my 10th standard. Talking more about the friends that I have in 10th. So there was a friend of mine named Sanskar Jain, Monty Mishra, and Yogesh Khare, and they were very good friends of mine. We spent time playing casual cricket on the roof of Sanskar's house, as well as we used to play GTA Vice City, GTA San Andreas, and the Yogesh is there, and we used to play chess a lot. Talking more about
What is Sanskar doing nowadays?
Sanskar is graduated from IIT Bhilai, and nowadays he has been placed in a MNC. I don't know the name exactly, but he has a package of nearly 8 lakhs. Talking
So
more
you
about,
don't talk that much to Sanskar?
I used to talk very often because he was my friend in 10th, and when he went Kota, then conversation was not there because he was much indulged in studies. And after coming back from Kota, he was a different guy. Like he was having a spectacle over his nose, and he seems to be much engaged. So we had a very short conversation, and
So that spectacle came in between of your friendship.
no, actually, but the studies that he has done in OSHA has changed his way of thinking, and he became quite mature kind of person. That we were not in 12th class. But nowadays we are having a good conversation, good short conversations, and whenever he came to Newari, we spend time together. We meet, we often play chess together.
Okay, continue.
And talking more about the qualities that I see while making friends is that whenever I get to know a person with whom my vibes are matching and my habits are also getting, in line, and if there's anything that he can teach me and that I can teach him, so the friendship goes on, conversation goes on. Like
Alright, give me an example for that.
I can give you an example like I like humor, and whenever I found humoristic person, like they are good at joking and all these things, I can have a good vibe with them. And I also like, I am a sep.
Okay, so you like humor. So do you read a specific writer or follow a stand-up comedian?
Yes, I
Which
used
one?
to watch a stand-up comedian named Abhishek Upmanyu.
So what's his genre of humor?
His genre of humor, I don't know exactly. I used to watch his comedy shows in a very casual way, just for fun. And when I want to spend my time just watching him, or I want to take a break while studying or having a dinner with my roommate, and we want something like jokes or some kind of humor, so we used to watch that together. He's a very good comedian. And talking more about my habits, so I also like the thing that I don't have in myself. Like if sometimes I like discipline, so I like the people who are having good discipline than me. If I like physical, I also lack physical stamina. So when I see a person who is having a good physical stamina, or he's good at running, and he's also having a same vibe that I have with my friends, so I usually make friends with that particular person. Talking more about my 12th, so I completed my 12th from Scholars Public Higher Secondary School, and that I secured 79.60% in my 12th class. And the subject that I like in 12th is chemistry, and the teacher that I like is the same, Amitabh sir, because his way of teaching and way of remembering the difficult reaction that we see in organic chemistry, that was quite creative as well as memorable, that used to help us in remembering those reactions. So I like that in 12th class.
Okay, give me one example of such reaction.
Okay, it is a very common reaction of photosynthesis, like C6H12O22 when it meets with H2O, as well as in the presence of sunlight and water, it creates chlorophyll, which is C6H10O22, and yes, that is chlorophyll, and actually it is glucose. It breaks into glucose and fructose. So it is the reaction. I can't remember the variables that are put there exactly, but yes, that is.
So you are not able to balance the
Yes,
reaction.
I am not.
No issue.
And talking more about my graduation. So in graduation, I completed my graduation from Government Holkar Science
You
College.
didn't make friends in your 12th standard?
Actually, the friends that I made in 10th class, those were my friends in 12th.
Okay.
Actually.
Okay, continue.
And talking more about my graduation. So I completed my graduation from Government Holkar Science College in Indore. And I completed my graduation with BSc in Computer Science as well as in Electronics. And I secured 66.53% from there. And in my college, I made friendship with Jayesh as well as Saurabh, Sunil. So these three were my close friends. And talking more about how I made friends in graduation. So the people who came in the college were from different areas. Districts were diversified. Their language and cultures were quite different from mine. And I found that thing very, amazing. Like to get to know a different person from a different domain. So I used to make friends, the friendship with them, and I got to learn a lot from them. Like the way they talk and the humor they create is very unique to me. And that way I also evolved into my personality, because I just make friends in a same area from 10th to 12th, and I learned a lot from those people, like getting adjusted into a group of 15 to 20 persons and organizing a meeting, or just showing a unity while having a GT with CR, and these kind of things just
What is GT?
GT is known as group study actually. That
Group study means?
means taking a holiday from college, and it was just
So in a group you are taking holiday from college.
yes, but that
So
group,
you are on a mass bunk.
yes, that is a
Okay.
mass bunk, and that group contributes to all students of the section. So
Okay. So nobody is attending the classes.
yes, and that
You enjoyed that.
yes, with a whole group of our college
Okay.
section. So yes, that kind of friendship I made in my graduation. And talking more about how I made friends in my graduation. So whenever I found a person interesting, like I can give you an example. Like I was preparing for NDA. I found Aniket Mishra. He has cleared NDA. So I got to, incline my vibes with him, and I just asked him how he prepared for NDA. And later he got recommended also, but he got merit out from there. So that thing also, getted me attracted towards the things that I want to learn from him, and we made a good friendship, and he's my friend till now. And yes, that are the reasons about my graduation and how I make friends in my graduation.
Alright, Raj. Tell me, how do you manage your finances? If you get a pocket money, how do you spend it? If you don't get a pocket money and you are earning some money, how do you earn that money and how are you spending it right now? Subsequently, tell me one such situation where you have to say no to any of your friends, and how did you approach that situation without deteriorating the relation. Also tell me one of the incidents when two of your friends were not agreeing to one thing and you were able to bring them on a common consensus.
Okay, so talking about my finances. So I earned money by teaching students from 9th class, and one was from 10th class.
Okay, you taught any specific subjects?
Yes, I teach math.
Okay.
They live in Indore, Vallabhnagar, and they are just contributing 3,000 per person. So subsequently, I get 12,000 per month. And how I spend that?
So you have 4 students.
Yes, 4 students I have,
Okay.
and I used to teach them.
And they are of which class?
3 of 9th class, 1 of 10th class.
Okay.
And I used to take 3,000 from a person, so 12,000 is my monthly earnings.
Okay. So Raj, tell me one particular topic of mathematics to convey your method of teaching.
Convey my method of
Yeah.
okay,
Any topic of your choice.
any topic of my choice. So if I talk about mensuration, so I had a very good drawing skills. I used to draw 3D figures on a very good way. I used to teach them the mensuration by just relating with them with the normal day-to-day life things. Like if I told a person that how much water you can put in that particular glass which is cylindrical, he would get to know curious about that. And I will tell him that by just knowing his height and radius of that particular container, you can get to know the amount of water you put inside. So they get to know about it. And that method of teaching, relates them with their day-to-day life, and they get to know the subject as well as the application of it.
And you have been teaching for how long?
I've been teaching for nearly 6 months.
So you must have faced some challenges during this journey of 6 months. So what all challenges you faced in this particular arena? What were the learnings in the way you outcame these challenges?
Okay. The challenges that I face, like whenever I am teaching them, so it is very obvious that I used to teach them, and more importantly, when they are getting a doubt. So what happened that they don't usually ask me about that. So if a student is getting answer wrong every time, I have to focus more upon him. And another challenge that I faced is when I went in Bali. So what happened that I was not able to take their class. So I arranged a Zoom meeting with them. And in that particular meeting, I used to check their homework. I told them to send me particular pictures on WhatsApp. I used to check them, and I also teach them the particular subject from that 2.5 hour domain of Zoom meeting. So these are the challenges that I faced.
So you have been teaching them from which month?
From December.
From December till August.
Yes, I'm teaching them till now.
Okay, so those who were in 9th were be in 10th now.
No, actually the 10th is, yes, they are in 10th, but they are in the initial phase of 10th. So I am preparing their base.
So you started teaching them when they were in 9th.
Yes, I started teaching them when they were in 9th, and now they are in 10th.
So in the month of January, you must have just helped them with their revision.
Yes.
So what was your way of approaching them for revision specifically?
Actually, what I did was I analyzed the previous year question papers that are being provided in Talent Public School, and I watched them, and I see the method. I see the kind of questions that are coming into the exam, and I approached in the same way. I taught them the specific topics that are coming into the exam, and by that approach, they are able to, get to revise the important topic first, and then the remaining topics I used to teach them after getting the important topics done. And during revision, I used to ask them the formulas subsequently. Like we are doing the revision, and I will ask them the formula of a plus b square, or I can ask them the volume of cube, as well as I can ask them about the area or about the volume of a cuboid.
Well, all these formulas are from 8th standard and you are teaching 9th standard.
Actually, they are also in 9th standard and 10th also.
What is the syllabus for 9th standard in mathematics? Your students are in MP board or CBSE?
They are in MP board, and there is a particular syllabus on 11th chapter that is named as mensuration.
Okay.
And
What all other topics are there nowadays in 9th standard? Because I've done 9th standard nearly 30 years ago. So I would love to know about that.
There are many topics like you can see like quadratic equations, as well as
In 9th standard.
yes, quadratic equation. They are just there's an introduction of them, like what are polynomials, variables, as well as coefficients. The basic teachings are there, and talking more about the subject. So there is a specific portion of the mensuration and introductory portion of algebra. Adding to them, there are many chapters like height and distance, and some basic learnings of trigonometry, sine theta, cos theta. They are introduced into the 9th standard, as well as The probability section is also introduced in 9th, and many chapters are there, like boat and stream, as well as profit and loss, discount, and CISI.
Okay, how will you explain the mutually exclusive event condition of probability to these students?
Actually, the mutually exclusive condition is not there in 9th class.
Okay, in 10th class?
It is not there even in 10th class. Actually, it is the syllabus of MP board, which is quite different from CBSE.
Okay.
So I don't usually teach that to them.
So, what is usually the syllabus of probability in 9th and 10th?
In 9th, it is the basic syllabus, like it is a basic probability. There's the introductory phase, like number of events, as well as the favorable events. So that's introductory phase, and then comes the choice-based questions. Like you have to select.
All right. What is the name of your student who got from 10th to 11th?
His name is Shubham.
Okay, Shubham. So, how much did Shubham score in his 10th?
He scored 92 marks in his 10th
Okay, in mathematics.
in mathematics only.
And overall, how much was it his percentage?
His overall percentage 88.
So, what subject did you suggest him to take, or did he have something in mind?
He has a interest about mathematics only.
So, only mathematics in 11th.
Actually, science with mathematics. Science we can take with biology, but only mathematics we would.
Okay, commerce also we can take with mathematics, no?
Yes, but we don't have any interest in that field.
So, he's still coming to your coaching?
Yes, he is still coming because if he wants to form his base regarding that particular class.
Okay, for 11th standard. So, for 11th, from which topic are you starting?
I started from the imaginary numbers, complex numbers, I, sin.
Okay.
Actually, I also have to learn some topics from 11th because it was not familiar to me after my graduation.
Okay, continue with questions.
Okay, so I got 12,000 per month, and I used to manage my expenses by paying 3,000 as a room rent and 2,500 as the charge of my lunch box, and it is 5,500 which I subsequently gave to that. Other than that, I spend some money on my clothing as well as books, which would amount to nearly 2,500 per month. So it happens like 8,000 or
Okay,
nearly.
what all books have you bought for the past 6 months?
I have bought some books like R.S. Agrawal, as well as I also bought a book named Prince to Paramount. Other than that, I bought books in reasoning for OIR actually, and yes, 3 books that I think. And I usually spend my money on just buying different courses actually. Like I had buy a course of Unacademy, as well as I had also taken a course of Insight SSB. I used to spend my money over there, and if I am giving any exam of MP, so I used to buy that particular course. So those things happened with my finances of 2,500 a month. So it reached to nearly 800, or sometimes it reached to 800, 500. It depends on month. Like sometimes I spend more money, or sometimes I spend less money. So the amount nearly 3,000 or 3,500 I used to save every month. And with that amount, whenever I go to my home, I buy different things for my family. Like my father don't used to buy clothes rarely buy clothes for himself by his choice. He's not a very selective person, so I used to buy clothes, as well as if I found any watch that will suit him, I used to buy that watch, buy sari for my mother, and something like my sister like chocolates, so I used to buy chocolates by that particular money.
Which chocolate did you buy last time for her?
It was a Dairy Milk Silk, and a dark fantasy biscuit I also bought for her. Yes.
Continue.
And talking more about sir, can you please repeat the question?
You must have had disagreements with your friends must have had disagreements. Two of your friends are having a disagreement and you are supposed to bring them to a common consensus. Have you ever faced that situation before in your life? If you did, how did you approach it? And how do you say no to one of your friends if you don't agree to something they are saying without deteriorating the relation?
So talking about if my friends, there was a situation actually which I faced in my 10th standard. Like the people were under a group, and the two of them, like Ayush and Vipul, were not agreeing to a point that we have to buy a particular camera for our annual party. So they were just saying that we will take our camera and we used to click pictures. I told them that if you will take pictures, you can't come in that picture, and you are not a photographer. You can't just take pictures of everyone and in that domain that it will suit. So that thing that they were not understanding, and that thing I convey to them, like if someone is a photographer, he has some skills in him. So I told him that it is a lifelong event that we are going to organize, and if the photos are not favorable to us, and if you are not looking good in photos, then how will you just memorize those events in a good way? So they got to know about that, and we hired a camera of 500 rupees in our annual party. And talking more about the disagreement with my friend,
In which year did this happen?
it happened in 12th class. Talking more about saying no to my friends, so what happened was, if I have to say no, I will convey it directly, because the kind of relationship and the kind of bonding I have with my friends, if I am saying no, then he will understand that it would not,
Okay, give me one such incident where you said no.
Okay. So recently, what happened that when I was in my hostel, there was a friend of mine, Yash. So he used to bring his friends, and they used to just smoke, because our room was near to a window, and I don't like it. So I particularly said,
You don't smoke.
yes, I'm a teetotaler. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I just said no to him that if you want to smoke or do some activities like that, you can go outside the room, you can do it on road, you can do it on footpath, anywhere, but not in that particular room. So got to know about that, and the relations are not, also same exactly that they were before.
Alright, Raj, do you know what is black slam in carom?
Black slam. No, I don't know it.
Okay. So, what is a cover in carom?
Cover that you have to put after you get the queen.
Okay. Any player which you like in carom?
Sir, actually I played carom in a very casual way. You can see that I played it in my school time. So I took it casually, and I don't know the players and the particular terming that.
You still actively play chess?
Yes.
Alright. And you follow chess along with its players?
Yes.
Okay. So, which is your favorite player in chess right now?
My favorite player in chess right now is our Indian, Padmanand. I don't know his name actually. He's a South Indian. He's a kid actually. His name is like Padmanandan. So he's a
Pragmanand.
Padmanand. So I like him very much, because he recently defeated a world chess champion. So I like the way he plays.
Whom did he defeat?
Actually, he defeated the world champion, Gary Kasparov.
Gary Kasparov. Okay, continue.
Yes, so defeated Gary Kasparov, and yes, that's why I like him.
Okay. So, did you see that match?
Yes, I had seen that match.
So, what was different about his openings or his way of approaching the game?
Actually, the starting was in starting he played the attacking, and the opponent was playing defending moves, but after nearly 10 or 11 moves, he just did a blunder, and that blunder cost him the defeat that he faced.
Who? Pragnanand?
No, the opponent of him,
Gary.
Gary Kasparov.
So Pragnanand was taking white pieces or black pieces?
He was taking white pieces.
Okay.
The opponent was in black.
Okay. Alright, fair enough. So, do you know any theoretical openings of chess?
I don't know actually the theoretical openings, but I hear some terms
Okay.
like Queen's Gambit and I can't recall them right now, but
Okay.
I have seen them on Lichess.
Okay, so you don't usually use all that. You just play with your own openings. You have your customized set of specific rules, right?
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Alright, tell me the dimensions of a volleyball ground. Also tell me the air pressure of the particular ball. And one of your favorite players of volleyball from India and one from world.
Talking about the particular aspects of ground, so it is a 18-meter ground in length and
80 meter.
18 meter in
18
length
meter.
and 9 meter in breadth, and it is divided by a central line which divides the particular ground from 9 meter from both sides, and from the central line there is a 3-meter line which is the attacking portion, and the 6-meter portion is for the defenders portion, like the people who used to just pass the ball. And talking more about the pressure of the ball, so I don't know about it, and actually I also don't know about the players of volleyball right now.
Okay, no issue. Alright, Raj, tell me what are your hobbies, your interests, how do you pursue them in your daily routine? Also, tell me how did you prepare for this AFCAT exam?
My hobbies are genealogy.
What is genealogy?
Genealogy is a kind of hobby that is related to the heredity of particular character. I would like to give you an example, like if I am the character or I am the particular thing that I have to focus on the genealogy. So it goes with my heredity, like who were my ancestors, like my father, about my grandfather, about my great grandfather, then his father, and the origin we want to explore in that genealogy.
Okay.
It is not related to a person. Like I can tell you, anyone can tell you about his ancestors. Like people remember till their great grandparents, but I used to have developed that interest. Like I can remember the name of 7 of my ancestors, starting from me, and it is also related to places, like the place where my guest house is.
So you specifically focus on your genealogy or you just cover the whole arena as much as you can for the history as well as for other countries?
Yes.
So you have that interest.
Yes, I have that interest. I can give you an example. Like I have an interest in knowing the place where my guest house is situated. So I asked my parents about it. My father told me that before guest house, that particular area our grandfather used to sell tobacco. He owned a Deepak Tobacco Company. Before that, that particular area was used for boring machines. And before that, my great grandfather buy that area from Hiralal and Sons in an auction. And before Hiralal and Sons, there was a truck company that used to import tuna from Panna to Newari, and that particular truck company got fire, and they have to stop their business. So Hiralal and Sons buy that from them. Then my great grandfather buy that particular place. So it is related to particular places, person, as well as many aspects it covers.
Okay. That is genealogy. Do you have interest in mythology?
No, but I know some creatures that I have studied, like unicorns were there in mythology, and mermaids were there in mythology.
Means at any point your mythology and genealogy intercepted. Did it happen? Did it ever occur? Means what
Not
is the domain of your hobby of genealogy? Because you just acquired the knowledge about your family. What other than that? Have you covered anything else? I would
Yes,
love to know that.
I covered the place where my school, Jesus Christ, was situated. Actually, I covered that domain. Like the person who was owning the land was Nizamuddin Khan, and that particular thing was related to many of our people related to my family as well as the people who are in our society, Samaj actually. So, in that particular place, before that there was Ashok Gehlot. So that particular
Who is
person,
Ashok Gehlot?
I don't know him, but he was a member in Gahoyi Vaishya Samaj. So he used to buy that land and convey his business of eggs. And before that, that land is owned by ourselves. And we used to, open a cold store. Our cold store was there, who was auctioned in the year 1996. And before that, I don't know the exact things, but I recall them and keep an account of them. So my school where it was situated, and I
Okay.
also get to know about my college also, like the college that is in front of my college, New Science College, that was also situated in my college, and there was a particular building for that. In the year 1893, when the Holkar king Madhavrao Holkar founded that particular college, so there were two colleges situated uh, uh, on the same area, and then that college shifted to another, and then that college, Holkar Science College, got developed, and things like that. So I cover many domains in my hobby.
And how do you pursue that in your daily life, daily routine?
I used to pursue that in my daily routine in like the origin of, like I was studying Hindi, so I get to know how Hindi came into existence. So I get to know that Hindi was originated from Sanskrit, and Sanskrit was originated from Apabhransh. Apabhransh, then it is related to Devanagari script that was coming out from Prakrit, and that Prakrit language, that was the initial language that has given the many languages like Sanskrit as well as Hindi, and that contributed to, the genealogy of Hindi language.
So, which is the oldest language which is officially still in our constitution?
Oldest language that is still in our constitution, I don't know that.
Okay, no issue. Continue.
Talking more about my hobbies, so other than genealogy, I used to spend my time doing word stealing and with my friends, and that particular hobby, get to improve my communication skills. They tell me how to say words, and if I am talking with a high speed, they will stop me, like you are just going on a high pace, and they will also tell me the things that I have to improve, like my modulation, my eye contact, as well as my wording wherever I lack. And other than genealogy, I also have interest in reading. So I don't usually read, but sometimes whenever I get time, I used to read books. The last book that I read was Inner Intelligence, Inner Engineering actually. That was written by Sadhguru. These kind of hobby interests I used to pursue.
So, what was the knowledge you acquired or the main learning you got from that book?
The main learning, actually the book is not overall completed, but the learning that I got from that book is the way Sadhguru used to meditate was he just focused on a particular thing, and he go in a different zone, and in that particular zone the time got elapsed by his memory. He was on a cliff and he was just meditating. He saw the beautiful weather, the birds were chirping, and the garden was blooming, for flowers were there. He went to the cliff on 9 a.m. and he don't know where his time got elapsed, and he came into his consciousness on 6 p.m. That thing he explored more, and he told him about his friends, and in that context he used to, uh, develop a meditation of focus. Whenever we focus, we used to meditate. It could be on our breathing, it could be on a particular object, it could be on our consciences as well as our surroundings. And more talking about the things that I learned from the book is people are not getting their focus in line nowadays. They are more interested in pursuing some web series or the online content, consuming these things. And if the people become more focused, then the problems like social anxiety, depression, as well as the people who feel nervous, they will substantially removed out from the society.
All right, Raj. Tell me, what all extracurricular activities have you participated in throughout your schooling, that is your 10th, 12th, as well as your graduation? Mention all the challenges you faced during that particular time and what were the specific ways in which you overcame those challenges. Subsequently, tell me the learnings you have had while overcoming those challenges.
Starting from 10th and 12th, I don't have any extracurricular activities at my school, but I used to organize a Navratri festival at my colony. So what happened was, the problem was not there any, because people are very much cooperative. For that, for organizing the Navratri festival, we used to go to collect chanda, and then we collect the bed out of takhat, we used to say, for organizing the stage. And we also decide the fund. Whenever the fund is decided, we used to manage that fund to buy.
Usually, how much was the fund?
It was nearly around 2,800, sometimes 2,500. So
the overall fund?
The overall fund that we contribute from nearby colonies, or if someone has got a job, so he will contribute more, like he will contribute 10,000 rupees. So fund changes every time. Like it would be high any year, and nearly it costs around 25,000. So we used to decide which murti we have to buy and from which particular place. And the tent which we are deploying in our colony, we used to decide that also, like Jain Sahab tent and Tomar Ji ka tent. So which tent, the tent that costs low amount, we used to deploy that in our colony. And with tent, we also have to manage the bhandara that we used to organize after the day of festival. And we also have to put some amount for Ravan Dahan on Dashera. And after collecting funds, managing the expenditures, and designing the decoration, like which type of lightings we have to do. Because if the fund is more, then we will do the great amount of lightings there, and will deploy a good DJ. And if it is not sufficient, so we will somehow manage the decorations. Talking more about, we have to deploy Pandit Ji there. And the challenges comes when the problems come whenever someone has say that he will contribute that much amount and he is not able to pay even after the Dashera or the Bhandara. So that thing sometimes happen, and we get frustrated when we don't get the amount of fund and we have to manage all expenses. Talking more about the curricular activities that I had done in my graduation, so I was the part of Holkar Debate Club, and in that particular club we also played many type of debates, and I used to participate. I don't took participation in a regular basis, but I participated in a debate and I got second prize for that, and my friend Sunil Chaudhary got first prize in that debate particularly. Other than debate competition, the challenges that we faced in debate competition is that someone is not agreeing to our point. Then we cannot just put ideas over him. We have to explain him why he is wrong and where his ideas are getting antisocial and getting declined. Other than debate, if I talk about more, so I had also organized a meeting of Had Anhad organization. I volunteered there and I organized the whole meeting. The challenges that I faced there are that people are getting too much stuck when the topics like religion and secularism came into the picture. They started their preconceived notion and ideology, and they don't agree to a particular point. But at the end of meeting, I have to convey my information and used to teach them in a genuine way so that they feel that they get some knowledge and increase their somehow ideology. So those are the challenges that I face.
All right, Raj, it was really pleasure talking to you. I hope you get recommended this time. You may leave. भूल गया था क्या अभी?
चैलेंजेस पूछे मैंने।